What's up, YouTube? In this video, we're going to go through week 5 of the NFL. I'm going to give you my picks for every game against the spread. Let's go. All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Dominate the Books. I'm your host, Keith. This week, we're going to try something a little different. As you can see on your screen, I have Yahoo Sports in front of me. Just kind of messing around, and I see where, man, they give you tons of information on this site. So we're just going to use this site to breeze through all these games. And like I said in the intro, I'm going to give you my picks for every game against the spread. So let's go ahead and get into it. First game, we got a 9:30 game this week. The first game in London of the year. So that's 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time if you're on the West Coast. We got the Jets versus the Minnesota Vikings. Jets 2-2 on the seasons. The Vikings are 4-0. Man, I can't believe it. Sam Darnold has been looking like Joe Montana so far this year. So, plus 120 on the money line for the Jets, minus 145 for the Vikings. The Vikings are the favorite by 2.5. Over under on this game is 40.5 points. We come here to this middle section, we can see where 86% of the money is on the Vikings to win this game, but 78% is on the Jets to cover the spread. That's interesting. Scroll down a little further here. Injuries for the Jets, we got Morgan Moses, offensive lineman. He's out with a knee. C.J. Mosley, the linebacker, is questionable with a toe injury. And Leke Fotu, D-tackle, he's on IR with a hamstring, so he's out as well. For the Vikings, Josh Oliver, the tight end, he's questionable with a wrist injury. And wide receiver Brandon Powell is questionable with an injury to his chest. All right, so I haven't watched too much of the Vikings this year other than highlights, but I watched a little bit of the Jets. Jets still don't seem to be clicking. Aaron Rodgers still can't, for whatever reason, get on the same page with his wide receivers. I don't know if he's missed too much time or he's still trying to come back off of that injury and they haven't built the chemistry yet. But I'm going to roll with the Vikings in this one. I'm going to take the Vikings minus the 2.5. And I just don't see the Jets. The Jets got to show me something before I go with them. So give me the Vikings on this one. All right, let's go back here. Next one, we got the Carolina Panthers versus the Chicago Bears. The Panthers coming in at 1-3. Bears 2-2 so far on the season. Plus 165 for the Panthers, minus 200 for the Bears. If you take the money line on the spread, Bears are a 4-point favorite. Over under on this one is 41 points. And if we look at the money, percentage of the money, 69% of the money is going towards the Bears on the money line, and 59% is going towards the Bears also to cover the spread. Andy Dalton has the Panthers looking a little bit better. They got one victory since he's been playing quarterback. They lost last week to the Bengals. We take a look at the injuries. Lonnie Johnson, cornerback, questionable with the hip. Deontay Johnson, the wide receiver, is also questionable with the ankle. And guard Damian Lewis is questionable with the elbow. For the Bears, Tevin Jenkins, offensive lineman, he's questionable with rib injury. Montez Sweat, questionable with an ankle. And Gervin Dexter Sr., questionable with the hip. That's a defensive lineman. Soldier Field, Bears against the Panthers. I'm going to take the Bears minus the 4 in this one. Caleb Williams had a little bit of a game last week here. Let's see here. What did he do last week? 196 yards. Oh, that's just for the season right here. I don't have his stats for the last game, but game is in Chicago. I'm not going to overthink this one. I'm going to take the Bears minus the 4 points against the Panthers. Next one, we got game I'm looking forward to the most: the Baltimore Ravens coming in at 2-2, visiting the Cincinnati Bengals at 1-3. Bengals got their first victory last week against the Panthers, and the Ravens beat down the Bills on Sunday Night Football, I believe that was. Um, Ravens are 2.5 point favorite in this game. Bengals are a home underdog. The over-under is 49.5 points. Take a look at the injuries here. We got cornerback Arthur Mollett. He's out with a knee injury. Andrew Voorhees questionable with an ankle. Running back Rasheen Ali, he's also out on injury reserve as well. Crazy with a with a neck injury. For the Bengals, we got B.J. Hill questionable with a hamstring. The DN Trey Hendrickson is questionable with a neck injury. That's big. And Jermaine Pratt is questionable with an ankle. Okay. I'm gonna go with the Ravens in this one, minus 2.5. They look too good against the Bills. They pretty much dominated that game from start to finish. The Bengals, they've been looking pretty bad so far. They're off to a slow start, which is pretty usual for them the last few years. Well, at least since Joe Burrow's been the quarterback. But I think the Ravens are just picking up steam now. They got that two-man show going with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Anytime hand it off, you don't know if he's going to hand it off or pull it and take off the other way. So I see a lot of that going. I also see Zay Flowers getting involved in this game. It has been throwing him the ball that much, so got to get Zay Flowers going. Give me the Ravens minus 2.5 on this one. Next one, we got the Battle of the Bums, the 1-3 Miami Dolphins and the 1-3 New England Patriots. This is pretty much a coin flip. Got the Patriots favored by a point. The over-under on this one is going to be 36.5. I can tell you right now, I'm taking the under on this game. 64% of the money is going towards the Patriots on the money line. 73% is going towards the Patriots as well on the spread. So injuries on this one, of course, Tua is still out for the Dolphins. Jalen Phillips and Cameron Good are both out with knee injuries. Braxton Berrios, he's questionable with an ankle. Then for the Patriots, Leighton Robinson, guard, questionable. Jabril Peppers, the safety, is questionable. And then the other safety there is out on AR with a calf. Not going to spend too much time on this one. I'm going to take the Patriots minus the 1 point. Like I said, I'm going under 36.5. Not too much to talk about. Both of these teams are trash. The Tua actually makes a really big difference on that team. They say he's a system quarterback, but it's like they need him to run that system there in Miami. So give me the Patriots at home, -1 against the Dolphins. Next one, we got the 2-2 Colts visiting the 0-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville actually looked a little better last week against the Texans. They actually made a game of it. They had a chance to take the lead late in that game, but didn't happen for them. Colts are a 2.5 point underdog on this one. Over under is 46 on this game. 59% of the money is going towards the Colts on the money line, and 56% is going towards the Colts as well on the point spread. Injuries, we got Jonathan Taylor, questionable with an ankle. Kenny Moore, cornerback, questionable with a hip. Kwity Paye, it's a crazy name, questionable with a quad injury. And then for the Jags, Darnell Savage, the safety, he's questionable with a quad injury. Josh Hines, Allen DN, questionable with a concussion. And Jarian Jones, questionable with the shoulder for the Jaguars. Oh, you know what? I think we got my man. Is Joe Flacco playing in this game? Let's see here. I don't see injury. Anthony Richardson on the injury report. So I guess he's going to be playing in this game here. You know what? If Joe Flacco was playing, and if he is, please let me know down in the comments. But I don't see Richardson on the injury report. I think this is where the Jags get their first win of the year. Like I said, they put up a better fight last week against the Texans. I'm going to take the 2.5 and roll with the Jags in this one. Next game. Let's get back over here. We got the 3-1 Buffalo Bills against the 3-1 Houston Texans. Ooh, this is going to be a good game. Texans +1, so they are home underdog. +1 for the Texans. Over unders 47.5. Drop down here, look at the money line. 64% of the money is going towards the Bills on the money line. 64% is going towards the Bills to cover that 1-point spread as well. So this is pretty much a pick 'em. Look, see, we have any significant injuries here. No big names: Taron Johnson, Austin Johnson, and Terrell Bernard for the Bills. Derek Barnett, Titus Howard, and Blake Fisher for the Texans. CJ Stroud is playing really good. So is Josh Allen. He didn't look too good against the Ravens last week, but he didn't bum it up like I thought he was going to do. So that was definitely surprising. Coin flip game. I like the Bills in this one. I'm going to take the Bills -1. I'm going to roll with Josh Allen, CJ Stroud's my man, Ohio State and all that, but give me the Bills minus the 1 point in this game. All right, so that'll do it for the 1 o'clock games. Oh, except for this one. All right, my Cleveland Browns against the Washington Commanders. The Browns 1-3. The Commanders 3-1 behind rookie Jaden Daniels. Excuse me, he's been playing out of his mind so far. Commanders -3.5. They're favored in this game. They got the over under at 43.5. 98. This is crazy. 98% of the money is going towards the Commanders on the money line. So it's 68% on the spread. Key injuries: we got Michael Dunn, Jordan Hicks, and Jack Conklin for the Browns. Austin Eckler is questionable. Backup Marcus Mariota is on IR, and Ife Abada is out. Still no Nick Chubb in this one. Still no David Njoku for the Browns. I'm not touching this game because I know if I do, I'm going to be betting with my heart. But just to give you my pick, I'm going to take the Commanders minus the 3.5 on this one. Go Browns. All right, who we got next here? Buffalo. First 4 o'clock game, we got the 2-2 Raiders that beat my Browns last week against the surprising 2-2 Denver Broncos. Broncos are -3, home favorite. So whenever a team is -3 at home, it's pretty much they're telling you it's a pick'em game because you should automatically get 3 points for just being at home with your home crowd. Over under on this one is 36 points. I'll definitely be taking the under on this one. Key injuries: we got Colton Miller, Luke Masterson, and DeCamerion Richardson. It's a hell of a name right there for the Raiders. Drew Sanders, Tyler Batty, and J.L. Skinner for the Denver Broncos. Broncos beat the Jets last week in New York. That was surprising. And the Raiders beat my Browns last week. That was also surprising. I'm going to take the Broncos in this one. Raiders didn't really look too good. My Browns, they actually should have won that game. He had a big pass play to Amari Cooper that should have sealed the deal for us in that game, but it got called back on the suspect holding penalty. Raiders don't look too good. They've been going through the Devontae Adams drama this week. I think he requested a trade, so give me the Broncos at home against the Raiders. Next one, we got, let's scroll down here. The 1-3 Arizona Cardinals visiting the 2-2 San Francisco 49ers. 49ers a 7.5 point spread or 7.5 point favorite in this game, over under 50 points. Expecting a lot of points in this game. Kyler Murray started off as a house of fire, but he cooled off. I don't know what's going on with him. Injuries in this game, we got Christian Jones, Isaiah Adams, and Kelvin Beachum for the Cardinals. George Kittle is questionable with ribs. And then D. Winters and Jacob Cowing. This will be like a backup wide receiver for the 49ers. 89% of the money is going towards the 49ers, of course, on the money line. 55% is going towards the Cardinals to cover the spread. That's interesting. Not me. I'm taking the 49ers in this one. Give me the 7.5 points on that one. Next one. Man, I love this instrumental here. This is a good game, too. Green Bay visiting the Los Angeles Rams. Rams 3-point underdog at home. 48.5 points is the over-under on this one. 75% of the money is going towards the Packers on the money line. 67% is going towards the Rams to cover that 3-point spread. Let's take a look at the injuries. For the Packers, we got Jenkins, Christian Watson, and Jair Alexander. Jenkins and Alexander are both questionable. Christian Watson is doubtful with an ankle, so he's probably going to be out. And then with the Rams, we got Larrell Murchison, Demarcus Robinson, and Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is out, and Demarcus Robinson is questionable with a hip. Those are two big injuries, especially with Puka Nacua already out for the Rams. I believe he's out towards the middle of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Cooper Kupp being out, give me the Packers to cover that 3.5 spread on the road there against the Rams. Next game we got here, we got 4 o'clock. Last 4 o'clock game, we got the 1-3 Giants visiting the 3-1 Seattle Seahawks. Seahawks just lost a tough game on the road to the who was that? I forgot who they played, but I know I betted on that game. Key injuries, we got Wan'Dale Robinson questionable with the heel. Malik Neighbors questionable with a concussion. Damn, Malik Neighbors questionable. Brian Burns questionable with the groin. And then for Seattle, we got Brian Murphy. He's out with a hamstring. Not even going to pronounce that name. Linebacker, he's out with a knee. And then Pharaoh Brown, he's questionable with the foot. Seahawks, that's who they played the other night there on, I believe that was Monday night. Take a look where the money's going. 68% of the money is going towards the Seahawks on the money line. 80% is going towards them to cover the spread. I know the Giants beat my Browns, but, man, they're still trash. They still got Danny Dimes as the quarterback. Best player, Malik Neighbors, questionable with a concussion. Give me the Seahawks minus 6.5 points. All right, and then we got the Sunday night game. I believe, it was another good one. Cowboys 2-2 visiting the 3-1 Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers coming off their first loss against the Indianapolis Colts last week. We got the Steelers 2.5 point favorite at home. Over under on this one is 44 points. 75% of the money is going towards the Cowboys on this one. That's on the money line. They're also getting 75% to cover the spread. Let's look at these injuries here. What do they know that I don't know? Kalen Carson, questionable for the Cowboys. Brandon Cooks, out with a knee. Ryan Flores, questionable with an undisclosed injury. Then for the Steelers, I don't see anything too major on their end. Linebacker Nick Herbig, questionable with an ankle. McCoy Pruitt, tight end, questionable with a knee. And Cordero Patterson, the running back, questionable with an ankle. Like I said in the previous videos, the Cowboys, I don't know what it is about them. They just don't look good to me this year. The Steelers, they always pull a rabbit out of hat some way. I'm surprised actually they lost that game to the Colts last week. They had a chance to come back and win that one close there at the end, but I believe Justin Fields threw an interception. But they were in that game to the end. Give me the Steelers -2.5 against the Cowboys. Cowboys just don't do it for me. And then last but not least, only got one Monday night game this week. We got the 2-2 Saints visiting the defending champs, the 4-0 Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs 5.5-point favorite at home, so they're -5.5. Over under on this one is 43 points. Let's see where the Monday is going. 88% is going towards the Chiefs on the money line. 84% is going towards the Saints to cover the spread. It's interesting. Let's look at these injuries. For the Saints, we got the running back Willie Gay, questionable with a hand. Peyton Turner, questionable with the knee. Taysom Hill, that's a big one, questionable with the rib. I believe he left the game at halftime last week with that rib injury. And then for the Chiefs, I know for sure Rashee Rice is out with the knee. McCole Hartman, questionable with the knee. Defensive end Mike Dana, questionable with the calf. And my boy Kareem Hunt, back in the league, questionable with the shoulder. But I'm sure he's going to soldier his way through that and play in this game here. I like the Saints. I like the Saints in this one, not to win, but to definitely cover that 5.5-point spread. Saints started off hot 2-2. They lost their last two games against the Falcons most recently. Chiefs squeaked out one against the Chargers last week, but like I said, they had that big injury with Rashee Rice. I know my man Travis Kelce showed up big in that game, so hopefully he shows up big for Chiefs fans again this week. But I'm going to take the Saints to cover the spread in this game. So that covers week 5, all the picks against the spread. Go back and double check everything. We got everything. The London game, the Browns, all the 1 p.m. games, the 4 p.m. games, and the Monday night game. So as always, thanks for joining me, and I'll be back tomorrow with my player props and parlays for all the games on week 5. Thanks again for tuning in. Dominate the books. Peace.